Hey, what's good, everybody? I want to thank you for joining us for episode 16 of the Honor Roll and Parole podcast. As always, this is your boy Hook. I'm here with the boy Bam. Bam, happy birthday, bro.
Yo, thanks for the birthday blessings, man. Happy to be here. 44 years old today. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me if
Hey.
I'm a little slurred.
Hey, as y'all can tell, he already feeling it. So this gonna be interesting, man. We're gonna see how this go. Um, so today's topic, if unless you've been under a rock for the past 2 to 3 weeks, you're probably familiar with it. The title is First Date Debate. Does location really matter? Obviously, this topic was inspired by the viral video. It was a gentleman and a young lady, and they were on their first date, and he took her to the Cheesecake Factory, and she took opposition to it. She wasn't very happy about it. And there was also a list that came out shortly thereafter that also went viral, and it listed a bunch of different places, like 30 or so places where women supposedly do not want a man to take them on the first date. So that's what we're really going to be discussing. Now, we are aware that a lot of those skits sometimes they're dramatized, they're fabricated. They may not necessarily be real situations, but let's not kid ourselves and think and believe that people don't really feel that way. We know they do. You know, we know it's some people call it preference, some people call it just being bougie, but everybody got a word for it. So it is a real thing, even if that particular video was not. But we're gonna talk about it, man. So we have a special guest here who's a friend of the show, has been on quite a few times. So she's a honor roll and parole veteran. So
The
Shamika,
alumni. The alumni.
right, for the people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're muted, Bree. I can't hear you. Nah, you still muted. No, that's now we heard you just fine a while ago.
Maybe you need to come back off and come back
Yeah,
on.
try logging out and logging back in. You know, we just gonna wait for Shamika to get a lot together over there. But Bam, while I got you, it's your birthday. We're gonna go ahead and get these shots out the way, bro.
Yo, let me give a shout out to the Trap and R&B Bingo that I'm gonna be doing on December 16th. We gonna be at the Brand Building in Allendale. So if y'all like bingo, y'all like winning prizes, y'all like karaoke, y'all need to come out and you know I'm gonna cut up, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna have a blast, and I hope that y'all guys can make it. Anybody who
He just cut off in mid sentence.
right, that's but yeah, if y'all can come out to the Trap and R&B Bingo on December 16th at the Brand Building in Allendale, y'all come out, y'all gonna have a good time. Shamika,
Am I back?
Yeah,
okay,
you back. You back with us now.
you
So
good.
we gonna try this again. Shamika, go ahead and tell us who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shamika Hatcher. I am a best-selling author. I am a theologian. I'm a lot of things, but one thing I'm always is honest. So I'm excited to be here tonight.
All right, Kimber.
Hi, everyone. I am Kimberly, but everyone calls me K-Mac. I am a business assassin, best way I can put it. And I'm excited to be here as well.
Business assassin. That's a new
That's
one.
right.
I hope you trademark that. I might have to borrow it.
Listen, her name changed, her attitude has changed.
Well,
Okay.
the podcast just started, man. So we going that's to be determined. We'll see how this goes, right? So again, for the audience, make sure you guys share, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Make sure you comment. We love to read and listen to your commentary as well. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. So I guess to start, right? So, and I want to hear from everybody. Kim, since you're the latecomer, we're gonna start with you. Put you on the spot real quick. Then we're gonna
Okay.
move to Shamika, then you, Bam. But I want to hear from each of y'all. So, how important do you think the location of the first date actually is, or is it even important at all?
Okay. So I feel like the younger me, right, would have said location was important. However, now that I'm older and wiser, I feel like location is not as important to me versus asking the right questions. I prefer, if I'm going to be truly honest with you, a coffee date. That's how I like to meet everyone because, look, if I feel like there's a misconception that women are always looking for men to sponsor and all this other stuff. When women make their own money, we are okay with picking up the check. We don't have to pick up the check, but if we need to pick up the check, we will do it. And so location is not that important to me. I'd rather quality over quantity. So I'm not interested in how much I can run up your bill. I'm interested in how much you can stimulate my mind. Are we compatible? Do we have similar interests? That's what's important to me. So I can assess, I can get a good sense of who you are over a $5 drink and leave it at that.
So when you say coffee date, right? That means it doesn't have to be Starbucks.
I mean, I'm not a Dunkin' girl, so but when I mean coffee date, Starbucks, a boutique coffee place, it really doesn't make a difference to me. Because, like I said, I'm dating for a purpose. I'm not dating for sport.
Okay. All right. Good deal. What about you, Shamika?
It depends on how much I like the person.
Okay.
So, location kind of does matter to a certain degree because it depends on how well I know you. So if we are familiar with each other and we've had a lot of conversations and it the location still kind of matters because we're going to figure out something that works for both of us because like I do a lot of coffee but like there's a lot of black guys that I talk to that don't, so a coffee date wouldn't work, right? That's not like the areas that they would go to. So but location does matter to me. I'm not rude though, so but it does matter because if I don't know you very well, there's certain things I'm probably not going to take as a first date option. So
Okay.
depends on how much I like you or what I think about you. Also,
Right.
I'm not gonna run your checkup though, because I don't like really fancy dates because I feel like that puts too much pressure on you and on me. Although I do get asked out a lot on fancy dates, those are usually men that have a whole lot of money that just want to kind of use their money to impress you though. But and those are not always the best dates just because they're more expensive. But I think location matters to a certain degree. I can't say out loud location doesn't matter because people on my timeline are going to think they can ask me out and they cannot. So this is not an open invitation.
I just want to say in response to that just because someone goes to coffee does not mean that they have easy access. So if there was that misinterpretation, let me just make it clear. No one, just because the date is a very minimal date as far as cost is concerned, does not mean someone can just feel that they have open access to your time. That all depends on you and what you allow. So if that came across that way, I just wanted to make that very clear.
No, I didn't. I hope I didn't make you feel like that's how.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
No, but
I understand what you're saying, though.
We live
I get
in
it.
different areas, so different things are different things. In
Yeah.
So, like, if I tell somebody in California that you really ain't gotta do nothing, they gonna choose to not do nothing. So we just live in different spaces.
Yeah. No, I get you. You're good.
So Bam, the women have spoken. So from a male perspective, what do you say? Like, how important is location on the first date?
First of all, you have to get the date first. You know what I'm saying? Because before I even take you out on a date, I didn't know if I liked you. So a coffee or just meet somewhere we can just walk in. If you exercise, you like to walk around a trail, we can walk, talk together, we can know each other before I spend any money on you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really the dating shit is kind of like it's played the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of women that have bad intentions, and niggas have bad intentions. But at the end of the day, I wanna I wanna get to know you first before I spend my hard earned money on you. Or if I take you out on a date, it's gonna be me fronting the bill. It's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to front the bill and then I don't even like you at the end of the day, or you don't like me. You know what I'm saying? So I think like a first, I think we should do like a pre-date, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I think we need to do something. Let me get to know you first before I even take you out on a date. You know what I'm saying?
And I think we need to, I guess, define the word date, because a date can pretty much be anything if you think about it. It can be ice cream, it can be coffee, it can be, like you said, a walk in the park, it can be any number of things. But I think one of the more important things is that when you first, I guess, you and somebody are showing interest in each other, you know, in some way in the conversation, your likes and dislikes are going to come up. Like, what are you into? What kind of food do you like? Do you drink coffee? Do you like to read? All that stuff is going to come up. At least when I was out there in the dating scene while we're communicating, I'm finding out what her interests are. So that way I can plan a date according to what her interests are. Like, I never looked at, like taking somebody to the most expensive spot, taking somebody to this big name. It depends on where your interest is. And kind of like Shamika said earlier, if she likes you, it really and truly ain't gonna matter a whole lot where you take her, as long as it's something fun, as long as it's something that she's into. Now, if you take her someplace that she don't like or that she ain't into, then yeah, it's gonna be a disaster. But if she's the least bit remotely interested in you, then I think it can work. Now, I do want to touch on a couple things that you guys mentioned. Kim, you said when women make their own money, they really don't care where the guy takes them. So that I don't
Well,
put
no, no,
work.
no, 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 no. I didn't say we didn't care. I said it's not as important,
Okay.
right? You being flashy and fancy with me, because if we make the same amount of money, I can splurge on myself. So that's not going to impress me, is what I'm really trying to get at.
So from the way my brain works, the way that me as a guy interprets that is that if a woman doesn't have her own money or doesn't make enough or isn't out there, isn't making like six figures, then it's going to matter more to them than to somebody who can really take care of themselves, as you said.
I think that's a generalization because, right? Because every woman is different. Every woman has certain standards, and I like to call them non-negotiables. I think all adults have non-negotiables when they're dating and they're looking for their person, right? I just like to, just from a woman's perspective, I find, and Shamika, let me know if you've ever experienced this too, men who lead with money usually make it very clear that that's what they bring to the table. As a counter, for women who make money themselves, that's not going to be important for us because we make our own money and we can take ourselves on nice dates if we choose to. So leading with that doesn't really impress us as much because it's the same thing as us making our own money, if that makes any sense.
Listen, men have several different tactics that they use. So that's money is one of the things that they use to impress a chick. But it's several different tactics that men use, and a lot of women can't identify with.
I've been on some
Name
really
one.
nice dates, but the person that I've been on the date with was a shitty person, excuse my language. And
I've took
to
shitty women on
just to
dates.
kind of show them, I mean, I'm not saying, look, you got bad women and you got bad men. You're just never going to get away from that. But what I'm
Just bad
saying
people.
is, what I find is those men who have money, they tend sometimes, not every, but sometimes they are assholes. And they usually leave with money and they try to make this as a way to impress a woman. No, I need to know, do you have stability? Are you mentally stable? Can you carry a conversation more than, oh, I did this, I bought that, I went here? Yeah, boo, that's nice, but so did I. Now, what else can you bring to the table?
A lot of guys. I was saying a lot of guys that got money and throw the money. That's the first thing they throw out. They have nothing else. That they have to lean on that. That is something they lean on. That's their money card. So, but a nigga with money, but with game, who can talk and finesse a female, it's different. You know what I'm saying? You got the money. The money is a little bit that's gonna be like, okay, he can afford to buy me dinner. He can afford to buy me lunch. He can afford to do this, do this. But outside of that, what do you got to bring to the table? And you got to differentiate between the two, because some women you can use that money to attract them, but there's some women they're not impressed by the fucking money. You have to bring something different to the table. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the female, though.
But I think that's why I found that list so hilarious. Because this, they're I don't even know who created the list, to be honest with you. But it almost it puts so much emphasis on the location instead of the actual reason that you go out on dates with somebody. Like, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you went out to this 5-star restaurant, but like, did you enjoy the date? You may have enjoyed the meal, but did you enjoy the company? Did you get to know the person? Is there going to be a second date? You know what I mean? Or is it just simply, well, we went out, we enjoyed ourselves, and now you want to use them to be for a free meal? You know what I'm saying? So I think that there are a lot of different areas or different ways you can take that, but I think we've gotten away from the traditional sense of dating. And
fuck that way.
And Shamika, you kind of quiet over there. I see the gears turning. So what are you thinking?
Honestly, like, we're going to keep having this conversation, especially in Black culture, until we figure out what our standard of living is. Like, if we don't know why we're dating yet, because most of us don't know if we even actually want to get married. And so until we figure out whether the goal is marriage and the goal is partnership, then dating is always going to kind of be like a weird place, because historically speaking, like, people got married. So we didn't even, like, dates were not even a thing. This is also still a new thing, the idea of dating. So we're acting like this should be common knowledge, but like, our parents didn't date. They liked each other and they got together. Our great grandparents, they liked each other and they got together. So this idea that we even have all these options is still super new. So like, yeah, we're going to have these conversations about whether something is appropriate or not appropriate, because like, dating and courting was totally different 60 years ago.
Because at the end of the day, if a person likes a person, it don't matter really. Just show that you're interested in me. It don't matter. You could take them on a date. You could do this. It's a lot of couples that got together with no dates. Back in the old days. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with you a little bit, Shamika, and I hate to say this fucking shit. I kind of agree with you a little bit.
Happy birthday. I'm glad that you realize that I'm usually right.
No, you're not usually right now, but you think you be right. But I kind of agree with you, because back in the day, it was like, fuck all that bullshit. Like, I like you, you like me. It don't matter what a person does. You either like them, you don't, or you willing to go down that road with them. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't really forget all the other stuff. There was no option. Like, there was very little options. You went to like the little movie and you went to a little diner. Like, there was not very many options. Now we have like 300 options for dates. So yeah, we're gonna have this conversation, and we have more working women who can pay for things that they like. So the standard changes, because it's not like, all women are the same.
No,
but to your point, Shamika, but to your point, Shamika, you did bring up you you mentioned that like our parents never really dated, and you're probably right. Like, I can't imagine my mom and dad going out, on the town and painting the town red and all these other things, right? So have we our generation, have we been properly groomed on how to date? You know what I mean? Because think about it, if our parents didn't date when we were coming up, if we were in high school, we ain't date. We just saw each other every day. I see you, you like me, I like you. We go together.
Right.
In college, same difference. We might be in the same dorm, or we knew some of the same people. I like this person. Even in corporate America, at our jobs, like, a lot of dating happens on site. So you get to know people while you're at work. And especially now, and with the advent of social media, you see people every day and you like their posts, heart their posts, or whatever. You start inboxing. So, I mean, is dating even really necessary? I guess that's kind of where we are, and that's the the culture that it seems that has been established.
But when I was younger, I felt like that's what I needed to attract that woman I was chasing. But in actuality, if I gotta do all that to get that woman, she's not the woman for me. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I gotta go through those hoops to even get your attention, you're not the woman for me. To be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like me or not, we can go to fucking Waffle House and have the best fucking time. You know what
Well,
I'm
it
saying?
depends on the women you're shooting at,
No,
Bam.
no, 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 no. I'm saying it depends on the people too. Because sometimes y'all can connect and y'all can just be chilling and be like, yo, let's go over here. And we can actually go somewhere and be like, yo, we at the fucking IHOP right now. And like, this is you know what I'm saying? It don't matter where that dating shit really don't matter. But if that's what you think you gotta do to get that woman, hey, go ahead and do your thing. But me, if a woman want to be with me and to spend time with me and to be in my presence, no matter where we at, that's what's important. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Bam. Just for the record, IHOP and Waffle House were on that list, so you can't take them there.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no. But Russell changed the game,
Yeah, he
Sierra.
did. Well, he rented out the whole Waffle
He
House
ran
though.
out of listen. It ain't cost him but $1,200.
Probably.
It ain't cost him
That's
but
like a
twelve
dollar
hundred
and some.
dollars.
He got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it costs him $1,200 to rent it out for a couple hours. What the fuck?
It's like y'all said, that's a nigga with money though. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
average person.
I can rent fucking Waffle House out because I rented some spots out for my daughter. It was more expensive.
Well,
So
I
nobody
thought you was
disagrees
about to
with
say
me
something,
tonight. Nobody
Well,
disagreeing
but no,
with me.
I thought Kim was about to say something, but apparently not. She must have changed her mind. That's why I paused.
no, I did read like one comment that came through, and I thought it was a great point that dates are really, especially in the initial phase, is gathering data, and I think that is
Right.
true, right? Because we're still trying to figure each other out. Most people are trying to usually give you the best version of themselves, right, in the beginning, and so you're just trying to figure out, a lot of different areas where this person, fits in your world currently. Do you like them enough to continue dating? You know, is their time enjoyable? Yeah, can you be around them for long lengths of time? Do y'all have similarities? It's a lot to figure out. And I feel like at that time, you're really just gathering as much as you can about each other to ultimately make a decision. Some people are able to do it faster than others. So I thought that was a great point.
I think for me, dating is important because I actually like to go outside. And sometimes if you get too comfortable too quickly, then some guys don't like to go outside at all. Just like some women don't. And like it's a really good it gives me information if whether you're willing to go outside or get outside of your comfort zone, because sometimes there's people that's like they want to get comfortable super fast, and then now you're comfortable and they ain't going nowhere. It's like it's this hard pressed to get them out the house at all, and I will
Y'all
die.
get fat together.
What'd you say?
Y'all get fat together.
Yeah, no, that I can't. I cannot do non-dating relationships. That would suck.
And that's kind of what I mean, because I think we've gotten away from what a date actually means. It's not, going to the most expensive place so you can post on social media, I went to this spot. It's about really engaging and getting to know that person. And I know that people have their preferences, but for me personally, as from a guy standpoint, I would prefer to go on a date someplace that something that I'm not familiar with, something that's out of my comfort zone, so I can try something new. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know if that's first date. Obviously, I wouldn't do that, but I mean, if the first date's okay, then I would definitely want to be okay with expanding my horizons, so to speak. But again, I think that as far as like the first date itself, you really want to engage that person, get to know that person, and really find out if they even worthy of even having a second date.
It
Do I
depends
even
on
like?
the quality of woman.
But what's a quality woman to you?
I mean,
Like,
a woman who's worth taking out on a date. Like You know what
Well,
I mean?
you won't know that until you take them out, though.
But no, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to before you can just engage. You can just engage in conversation. Y'all don't have to go on dates. Y'all can just chill. Y'all can talk and get to know each other before you even go on a date. Even when I was younger, I used to go off with that. Like I just met a chick. Let me take you out. Why? You don't know who she is. You gonna spend your money on her, and you might not even like her after the date. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now at the age I'm at now, I need to get to know you first before I spend my money on you. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna trick out on you. I'm not gonna trick out on you and really trying to guess the outcome. You know what I'm saying?
But I think Chantel just really spoke to your point, Bam. She said blowing $250 on dinner when you're still getting to know somebody is crazy. And I agree. You know,
Yeah.
now if we're established and we're dating and this is going somewhere, no problem. But first
No
date,
problem. No problem.
200, like, you know what I'm saying? Any crazy amount of money when you're trying to get to know somebody, I think that's crazy and I think that's wild.
That's
Okay,
tricky.
so
That's tricky.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's tricking, but let's say you really like someone and you think they're worth that on the first date. I do think location, or let's just say region, matters a lot, because Chicago, New York, LA, it's not hard to run up $250 just because everything is more expensive in that area, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So I think also it really depends on your demographics and where you're at. But I agree mostly with what you're saying, is that it doesn't take $250 to find out if you need, if you want to continue having more dates with someone.
If I gotta use money to impress you, you're not the one.
But also, why don't people like FaceTime? Like in the beginning, like why aren't people using FaceTime and conversations? Like, because I mean, I do get the idea of a pre-date, but it depends, like how familiar you are, like if you met
Right.
something. But like you also could pre-date on like something where you can see their face, and then we don't even have to go on the date at all, because I might not like you. You might say something wild. Like there's times where I'm like on FaceTime and somebody says, "Oh, I don't pay for dates at all." Great, we're not a good.
Listen, let us have stimulating conversation for at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks.
I don't know if that should be the length of time. If we
I'm not. It's just, no. I'm not putting no specific time on. I'm just using it as an example. But
Yeah.
let me get to know you a little bit. Let me talk to you. Let me see if we have the same interests. Let me see if we listen to the same music, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then, if I like you, I'll take you out. It's no problem. Because I want to go out and do
Well,
something. And I want somebody with me.
I like that in
Shamika, I'm glad you
theory.
said that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I'm glad Shamika said that, because if you're trying to FaceTime somebody and they got an Android, then that tells you they're not the person for you. But go ahead.
No, brother. Okay, because
there's
we don't have to pay for the same stuff that we have in our phone. We don't have to pay all that extra. Okay, don't come for us. No, I was gonna say that I agree with her. I feel like we have moved away from actually talking, right? Maybe because everything's so instantaneous and you have like a whole world right in your phone. I don't need to go outside to meet, my guy. I could just swipe left and right. Or the same thing with men. So it's like, well, why do I need to put in all this work when I could just get someone who is not going to force me to do all of that? And I feel like we've gotten away from having conversations and doing the pre-work, the pre-dates to find out, like, do I even want to drive in my car and meet you? Because
dressed.
Right, you crazy. And it's a no. So I think that's a good point, Shamika.
And I think social media plays a big role in that, because there are people who I've never met, like face to face, but I've known them quote unquote for years. You know what I'm saying? And it's because you like there are people I've never met face to face, and like they have seen my daughter literally grow up. You know what I'm saying? So they've saw important important moments, and we haven't even like, you know, shaking hands or hugged or anything. So I think that's it's not a bad thing, but I mean, I think that kind of takes away from the more traditional values that we know that we at least used to have. But getting back to the list, right? So what are you guys' opinions about the list? You know what I'm saying? Like
nobody's house. So I love that.
Yes.
They're not realistic. They're not realistic. They're not realistic. Neither one of those lists are realistic.
A couple things they said though.
It's a few things on there you could take off of, and I agree with.
They said family functions. The first date shouldn't be to a family function.
No.
Hell no.
But some people will do that.
The first date, like
you mentioned church is over with.
Ben will go to church. He's lying. If he likes you enough, he's going.
I'm not going to no fucking church.
Oh my God, your mouth.
No, listen, Bam ain't going to church.
No.
Dang.
Okay, so we can have Bible study.
I agree with the do not invite me to your house. That's too familiar. And it's not, I think people think that the non-house thing really has to do with like women trying to like, you know, be like, oh, I'm not that kind of girl. No, it has everything to do with the fact that like, it's too familiar. Like if you want to get a little fresh and you want to touch me, I'm already in an atmosphere that's not safe for me. So you should only do house things when you feel like being comfortable in a house setting.
You ready to smash?
Well, not necessarily, but you might want to be open to it by the time you're in somebody's house comfortably.
I feel like women, right? When we talk about I'm not meeting you at your house, it's mostly from a woman's perspective, but men need to be safe too. Men get got. I know plenty who have got where, you know, hey, why don't you come to my house? And it was a whole setup. So I do feel like it. A lot of times,
somebody told me that most men date with a different set. So they're dating for the prospect of sleeping with you. So
right.
It's different for a man. So like if you invite them to their house, they're like, oh,
you just figuring this out?
No, I'm saying it out loud. But this is also why.
That's old news.
But I'm saying, but this is also why there's some women that want you to jump through some hoops. That's possibly why as well. There's some women that are like, you cannot get this with a Waffle House date. And that's also fair as well.
I mean, to a point, you got a point. If you only spent $5 on me, and then if you kind of say, okay, we had a good conversation. Why don't you come home to me? Why don't you come home with me? Basically, hon, you've only spent $6, and therefore my Hello Kitty is only worth $6. Like,
what you saying? My dick ain't worth nothing?
Yes, that's what we're saying. It's worth this much.
Men offer up their often. It's like pesos at this point. We could just say we are in need, and it'd be like 50 requests.
Listen, women pay for the dick too now.
I don't know.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Women pay for the dick too now.
I'm not saying that.
Pay for it then.
Right. Look, a trick is a trick regardless. A trick is a trick regardless of gender. All I'm saying is, I feel like when the list comes out and women say, "Oh, I'm not going to his house," it's usually, "Oh, okay, well, she wants to be safe." But men, you never really hear men say the same thing. Y'all need to be just as safe as us, so you should have the same standard. I'm not going to your house on the first date. I don't know you like that.
Listen, if a woman want to come to my house with that bullshit, whatever nigga try to come in there and do some dumb shit, that's on you now. When they come to the door, he laid out front, that's on you. I have nothing to do with that. But as far as me pursuing you, I'm not threatened by a woman coming to my house, because if you call somebody over there, they're gonna die.
Okay.
Okay, so to the point of the any date where we are in public and getting to know each other is fine. Dating does not include sex. For some people, it does, and I think we have to be clear about this. Like, there's a whole lot of people that's hunching. So there's a reason why there's a whole lot of people that say, no, you have to take me to a nicer restaurant. Because the truth is there's an exchange rate for most
That's
women. For most
prostitution.
women. It is, but I mean, it is, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Some
You're
people want
gonna
it on the
pay
table.
directly or indirectly.
It is what it is. So some women are saying, like, you're not even going to get my attention. You're not even going to potentially get close to me without spending a certain amount of money. So we do have to understand that there's a large amount of people that do function that way, because they do equate a date with the possibility of that.
I do feel like social media has played a huge role in a lot of mindsets changing towards this phenomenon, because I don't feel like everywhere you turn, right, this was being pushed, this agenda was being pushed in our face. Now it's like everywhere you go, it's in songs, it's on TV, it's in books, it's everywhere. And yeah, I do feel like it is a currency.
Broke niggas don't deserve no pussy. I know that's right.
No, but what I will say though, and just speaking from a man's standpoint, when I was out in the world, which I'm not anymore, it's hard for me to fathom taking somebody, wining and dining them on this expensive date, to potentially sleep with them, right? When I know 3 other dudes you done been with, they ain't had to do anything. They ain't took you on no date, ain't did, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just telling you from a guy's standpoint, be like, why? If I think that when people first meet each other, they know off top whether or not they want to sleep with that person or not. And I don't think that the place that you take them to should define that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I have to take it to this expensive spot. Even if I took you to for a $6 meal, if we're gonna sleep together, we're gonna sleep together. I don't think the amount of money I spend, I don't think that should make women feel like, okay, well, this is what my vagina is worth. If he values me more, if he spends more, and we go sleep with each other afterwards. I don't think the two necessarily coincide.
But listen, Hook, listen, it's like this. Like, say for instance, me and you pursuing the same woman. She might give you the pussy. She might make me work hard. The whole time I'm taking her out, she fucking you. You know what I'm saying? It just, that's how it is. I've been the nigga who she been fucking, and I've been the nigga on the other end of the spectrum. So, you know what I'm saying? It depends on who the woman likes, man. You know what I'm saying? Women,
but also,
they like who
that happens on the other end. I've been the woman that men spend a whole bunch of money and time and effort in, and then they'll go sleep with somebody else and give her 0. People know how to play their position. And
yes. Yeah.
So like,
they will go as far as they feel like it's necessary to go. If they feel like that's what I have to do to get you, they're gonna do it. If they feel like, yo, I could just throw you a couple dollars and you give me the pussy, they'll do it. Or if they feel like they gotta take you out of town, they gotta take you on a cruise. It depends on your perception of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it also depends on your perception of you, right? Because if you don't value yourself, you're gonna tolerate a lot more.
Because I might look at you
allow them to treat you
as a difficult task. I might look at you as a difficult task. But to another nigga, he could be like, yo, that shit it ain't took me to do all that. But that's who that's some women are choosing and some niggas gotta work for it. That's just how it is.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but we can agree to disagree. I think if you put out there in the universe, right, how you feel about yourself, people are going to match that energy. If I don't value myself, if I don't love on myself, you're not going to be like, you know what? Let me.
It depends on how you respond to that person.
Treat this girl like a princess because she has low self-esteem and she's worth it.
You will respond to me differently than you responded to a nigga you're attracted to.
Now, what I find is, and this is true, I've gone to many places, men will disrespect women, but because of the type of woman I am and how I carry myself, they will be a little bit more respectful. And I find that it's because I'm saying, no, I'm not going to tolerate certain things. You're not going to you're not going to sit here and call me a bitch or call me whatever. You're not going to sit here and, berate me. And you're not going to sit here and treat me less than, because I know my worth. So I do. And it's the same thing with men. Like, women are only going to do what you put out for yourself. If you don't date yourself,
It's
you
what
don't
you're
love
attracted
yourself,
to. It's what you're
people are going
attracted
to
to too.
feel that.
Because it could be me and a person that you're attracted to, your type of guy. We can come at you with the same approach, but you're gonna engage with us differently.
Well, yeah, because I don't like one of you. Duh. Duh. I don't like. I mean,
So that's my point.
Like,
so that's my point. That's my point.
You are correct.
It's who you like. It's who you like.
You are correct.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, obviously, I think that goes for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if there are two people there and one I like and one I don't like, if this person who I like,
this person here could be good for you, and this person here can be good for you.
I don't like them.
But I don't like them though.
So basically,
say that. Who cares?
So basically,
I don't like them. I don't want them. I'm not going to inquire, and I don't care. So he could be good to somebody else. I hate when men say that. Like, knock it off. It's the same thing. Like, that woman might be the blessing to you, but if you ain't interested, you're not interested. Who cares?
No.
Right. There's a lot of good women out here that aren't like baddies that get overlooked. I hate when men say, like, oh, the good guy always finished last. The good woman always finished last too.
That's a damn lie.
What's the point?
That's a damn lie.
And you might not be.
I think you can go both ways.
We do not care. We don't
because they don't care because they you like what you like,
right?
And what you like may not be good for you,
right?
So your whole statement, so Kimberly, your whole statement was fucking irrelevant.
No, it's not. That's not relevant. I'm sorry. Like I've had plenty of guys come at me from all walks of life, all ethnic backgrounds, all economic backgrounds. And one thing I'm not going to do is I don't care if I like you or not. You're not going to talk to me any type of way. And you're not going to treat me any type of way because that's what I put out. Right.
That remains to be seen.
Don't get me wrong. Like if I'm somewhat interested in you or I see some value in you, right, I may tolerate some of your not so great moments, but everybody has limits. And I feel like no matter what, whether you fine, whether you got money or not, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're just
the fine ones be the worst dates.
True.
They be the worst dates. Them be the ones you have to get on a phone, on a FaceTime, because them be the ones you don't want to go on a date with. They be terrible.
I mean, they ain't got to work hard, so I mean,
they cultivated no personality. Now, on average, now sometimes there's of course an anomaly, but the men that are really tall, that look like what everybody wants them to look like, then be the worst dates. The worst dates.
What is it with you and height? You look like a 6'11" dude.
Who?
You?
I don't like 6'11".
Yeah.
I'm only 5'4". I'm a tiny human.
So what's tall to you?
5'11".
Oh, that's short to me, honey.
You look tall. You do look tall.
I am. I'm 5'9". Like, what I'm gonna do with him? I'm gonna put him in a stroller. That's gonna be my son. Like, I can't do nothing with a short man.
5'9" is okay.
That man rock your fucking world. Stop this shit.
She don't want him. Did you just
like
what I said earlier?
I need somebody that's my level. Like, can we look eye to eye? I don't want to look down on none of my men. No.
He can't rock what she won't give him.
How you know what she won't give him? You know.
Good point.
Like,
move for that night.
Let's say that on the first date. Let's say that on the first date they take you to a very undesirable location, someplace you absolutely hate it and don't want to go, but you like the person. Is there a second date?
I'm not going.
What if you don't know beforehand? Because some people like to surprise you.
I tap out. I tap out of things. I don't do things I don't want to do. I will say,
so there's no second date.
She gonna miss out on her blessing.
No, I'm gonna say, ooh, sweetheart, I don't want to eat her.
So no do-over? No second date, no do-over?
We can go somewhere else right then and there. Because I'm gonna say, I don't want to eat her.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding. So this guy takes you out on a date. It's
Mhm.
someplace you don't want to go. You're gonna stop the date, interrupt the date, and say, "Let's go someplace
I'm gonna say,
else."
can we, before we even sit down, because I'll usually know, can we please go somewhere else?
I mean, I don't think she's wrong in what she's saying. I think you just have to have tact and couth, right? I don't think you have to be rude, kind of like, oh, girl, right? We found out that was a skit, but she was rude about it. I feel like if
Listen,
you,
fellas, do not, if they like that, leave the motherfuckers in the parking
They
lot.
know I'm like this.
Leave the motherfuckers in the parking lot,
They
man.
know what I'm like
The
before they
fuck?
go on a date. So there's no confusion. No one's confused
yes,
about
that's a
who
good point.
Shamika is. Nobody's confused about who I am. So if I say, ooh, I really don't like
I'm
this,
leaving you in the
especially,
parking lot.
hold on,
Yeah.
especially if
I mean,
especially if I'm agreeable, because usually I'll
right.
take a whole lot if I like so if you take me somewhere and I think it's kind of gross, or I have certain eating dietary needs that I can't work with it, which rarely happens, then I'm gonna have to say something. I'm gonna say, oh, or I'm gonna sit there and I'm not gonna eat. So either you take the company, or I say, babe, I really kind of don't want to be here. Like, can we go somewhere else?
The advice you're given is what should be clear for the
That will
woman.
be your
Run,
last
women.
motherfucking day.
For men like that,
So what?
run, because
So what?
it's a no. It's a no.
There's 10
It's
men
a no.
behind you
What's the
that
no?
want to date.
Huh?
What's the
I'm
no,
on
Kim?
the
When you
side of
say what's the no?
Shamika here because, like, sometimes, especially if the man did not ask you or didn't consider you in when he made the decision, right? Like, I appreciate a man taking lead and putting forth effort, but if you don't like it or if you're not comfortable there, it's okay to speak up. And if a man is telling you, oh, that's a problem, he's the problem, he's the red flag, and you need to run like hell because
That's a red flag when you do that shit.
You want me to suffer through a
That's a
terrible
suffer?
eating?
How you
Is it-
suffering?
Is
How
it
you
suffering?
suffering?
okay,
How
I'm
you
gonna
suffering
give you
by me feeding you?
an
How you
example.
suffering me by me buying you drinks and feeding you? How the fuck is you
I'm
suffering?
gonna give you an example. So recently I went out for a meetup, right? And it was supposed to be like a public place, right? It was like up here is getting a little late, so it gets darker earlier in the Northeast. But we ended up meeting, right? The pictures on Google did not quite, they look nicer than where the place was. We were supposed to meet up to go play pool. It's pool, right? But the place did not look safe. I'm supposed to just, because you're paying and because it's on your dime, I'm just supposed to say, shut up, Kim, don't go. No, I'm going to say, you know what? I do like that you put forth effort. Unfortunately, I don't feel quite comfortable here. Do you mind if we go somewhere else? I have no problems looking up.
It wasn't about comfortability. It wasn't about comfortability. It was about a restaurant that you don't want to eat to, or you might not feel comfortable to.
Wait a minute, what are you arguing about? Are you arguing about the Cheesecake Factory? Because we in a totally different conversation, babe.
No. Because that's what the conversation is. Like, it's not about your comfortability. I'm not going to take you nowhere where I ain't safe or you ain't safe. But
what's safe to you might not be
that's safe to you. Right.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it this way, right?
So you telling me that you're not gonna be with a man that you'll feel safe with?
I don't know you like that.
Right. Like
we're dating. That means I don't know you quite like that.
Let's look at it this way. I think we're talking about, well, it's the same but different. Now, obviously, I think that as a man, if I take you someplace, I'm gonna want to take you someplace where I know it's safe. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take you to someplace where I think that you may be in danger or whatever. But I get your point, Kim, if you don't feel comfortable because you don't feel safe, that's different. What I'm talking about, and I think this may be the difference between men and women, because I've gone on dates to places that I absolutely hated. And it may have been her idea to say, hey, let's go to this place. But I went because I was into her. I liked her. And I wasn't going to be rude and just say, you know what? I can't go here. But I suffered through it because I wanted to be in her company. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of what we're getting to. So obviously you have your preference. If you don't want to go, you don't want to go. But I think that there's something to be said for being appreciative of the fact that this man took his time to take you to this, because he didn't have to take you in.
Okay.
Shamika, there's nothing wrong with
No.
appreciating what a man does.
No.
There's
You
nothing
had
wrong with
me. You had me for a second.
I'm not even agreeing with this.
What, appreciative?
I'm not
So
agreeing.
you shouldn't be appreciative?
No, you don't get to just say I have to be appreciative of whatever you'll give me. Knock it off.
No, that is not what I said.
That's kind of
I
what
said
you
about
said.
I said being appreciative of his time. I didn't say you.
And that's why I'm saying.
I'm not saying. I didn't say because I said we going here that you got to stay. I'm saying just appreciating the fact that I took the time to plan this. I'm paying for it. I took the time to invite you. That's what there's nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with appreciating a man's efforts. There's nothing wrong with that.
Can I appreciate it and redirect it if it's absolutely terrible? Can I say thank you so much? I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this. But is it possible?
Is it possible?
You're not appreciating it. When you're not appreciating, listen, that's not appreciation. That's not appreciation.
That's still passive aggressive.
I don't know.
Exactly. That's passive aggressive. That's not appreciation.
You gave me a scenario. I'm answering the scenario. Rarely would it happen that I'm going to show up somewhere and I don't want to go in. But if it should happen, then
that's
I'm
the
going
difference.
to say it.
That's the difference between men and women.
So
I'll be honest with you. If a woman invites a man someplace, I guarantee you he ain't gonna sit there and, please pardon my vernacular, he ain't gonna sit there and bitch about the fact that he ain't gonna do that. He's gonna suffer through it because he want to be in her company.
We're different, and it's okay if you guys can suffer more than us. You know that. We're okay with that. Why are we acting like? Let's not act like the genders aren't different. We know that y'all like to suffer for us a little bit, but why would you want me to suffer if you know you just took me to a hole in a wall and I'm not comfortable?
Is it really suffering? Is it suffering?
Yes.
Though? Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Woo.
Yes. It's a suffering. Okay.
Right. I do feel like it's a compromise, but in the beginning, I think this is where people have unrealistic expectations. If we're getting to know each other, I don't owe you a thing, right? I'm trying to get to know you, right? So it's for me to be honest with you about what I like and what I don't like. Now, if we're in a relationship or married or, whatever, then I find you should compromise. You should, take one for the team, vice versa. I get that. But in the beginning, I don't owe you nothing. Like, I don't owe you an explanation if I find that we're not compatible. That's it. Best of luck. That's all you're getting. I don't owe you that. And I find that a lot of people are unrealistic now with dating expectations, relationship expectations. They compare a lot of what's happening with celebrities and trying to make it fit into their reality. And it's just, it's like rich people problems. It's like, oh, I want a relationship like such and such. This is the dream. You don't know what those people go through behind closed doors.
So you're right, because I'm not in a relationship. The expectation for me to be appreciative of just find out if I'm appreciative or not. Maybe I'm not at the moment.
Apparently, you aren't. No, I can answer that now. You're not.
You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not.
Oh well. The men that like me know that. I cannot be perfect, okay? I can't be cute and smart and talented, and I can't be everything. So some things have to fall to the wayside.
No, you're right. Hey, Shamika, you know what? You're right. You can't be all those things, but I think every single human being can be appreciative.
I'm not doing it that way. However you said it, I'm gonna figure some other way to do
it. Hey, we gonna have Bible study after the show, man. we need it.
You know how much Bible I read, and I'm still like this. So it is.
You read the Bible of Beyonce. Stop
it. What's wrong with reading the Bible of Beyonce?
No, the Bible of sex and rape.
Right.
No, I don't. That's really the one I'm not reading.
Hey, so check this out, right?
She'll take a $2 Waffle House plate. I'm not.
I know, right? So we still got a little bit of time left, but this has been very entertaining, very informative. This
Yeah,
is
the
really,
dream on tea.
I know, exceeded my expectations, but I want to get some final thoughts from you guys. So it can be about anything we discussed tonight. And Shamika, we want to start with you. So what are some thoughts you want to leave with the besides the fact that you're an appreciative, what are some thoughts that you want to leave with the audience?
Listen, I told somebody recently that my toxic trait is that I expect for things to happen a certain way, and I do not show the kind of appreciation that maybe you might want some women to show. So I'm okay with that. It is what it is. With that being said, it really depends on how much I like you. If I like you, I accommodate a little more than if I don't like you up front. And it depends on how well I know you. I think dating should have a purpose. Everyone doesn't have a purpose. So you probably should have a few conversations so you can filter out the purpose. Also, I'm a spoiled babe and I don't pay for anything. So if that doesn't work for you, we should probably talk about that before we go on a date. That's all I got.
Go ahead, Kimber.
I thought this was great. I wanted to say that I think everyone should first date themselves and find out what it is they like about themselves, where they are at in this moment in time in their life, because I think that's important for you to date someone else and communicate what your needs are and what you want. Now, if you out here just having fun, then don't listen to me, okay? Go run that checkup, girl. I'm not, saying anything important. But for those who are dating for purpose and trying to find their mate, I think it's really important to not live in the fantasy world in your head. Like, oh, he could be this, she could be that, and really do the hard work of asking the tough questions up front and trying to make sure, do they align to your core values? Because that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. That's all I got.
All right. Birthday boy, what you got?
Yo, listen. Get to know the person. This for my fellas, right? Get to know the person before you spend your money on them, bro. Do not spend your money if you don't know them. If you're just trying to impress them and you got to use your money to impress them, there might not be the one with you. Unless you can keep that up. But on top of that, man, get to know the person, and then the expectations is unlimited. You don't got, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna do whatever you can to put real them in because you feel like they're worthy of that. But don't do that to try to impress them. And that's what you got to get them because that's what you got to do to keep them. So at the end of the day, date somebody who actually likes you.
And for me, the only thing I'll leave you guys with is, and I'm speaking specifically to the fellas, is communication. Like women communicate, they make their wants and their needs known, but the fact is, what we want and what we need is equally important. So I think that it's important that we verbalize that, but not just that. Just when you're getting to know somebody, communication is going to be key because find out from that person, what they like, where their interests are, what they, because that's going to save you a lot of not. It's going to save you from a lot of non-appreciative women out there because
Blah,
you
blah,
want to
blah.
make you want to make sure
Blah, blah,
that. Because you want the date to be equally enjoyable. You want to get there, you want to talk to them, but also you want to make sure that both parties enjoy themselves. So I'm joking a lot, but you want to make sure the woman enjoys herself, but you want it to be enjoyable for you as well. But this was great, man. This was a very entertaining, very educating conversation. I've learned a lot tonight, but this is really good. Normally we have our podcast every couple of weeks. This will be our last podcast until November 30th. Next week is our off week. The following week, I personally will be on vacation, and the week after is obviously Thanksgiving break. So we'll be back November 30th. We'll have a really hot topic available for you guys. Shamika, Kim, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And I know we'll be talking to you again. I know we'll have you on again. Bam, as always, brother, I appreciate you. Happy birthday. Go ahead and finish getting lit up because I know you're about 3 sheets in the wind now. So go ahead and finish it off. But again, for the audience, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate you every single episode. And again, thank you so much. And until next time, we'll be seeing you.